you would need to completely finish out a grant before you applied for a second year. If you really do need that commitment for a multi-year funding, then that would be the Level 2 grant request. Other funding restrictions: the OHA grant funding may not be used to support out-of-state travel or for the purchase of land or buildings. Because we represent so many different islands in our state, we do allow travel costs within the state, but not travel out of state. For individuals or organizations who need to be traveling out of state for part of their project, we ask them to use their matching funding for that, and it's possible that OHA funding could support more programmatic services. For organizations that have an out-of-state budget cost because they are bringing a consultant to their project, we recommend that they maybe build that into the fee that they are paying the contractor for that particular service. Our Community Grants Program does not provide financial support to individuals for personal needs or to finance business ventures. Also, under our Transitional Assistance Program, we have what we call our Malama Loan Program. The Malama Loan Program is partially funded by ANA to provide loans, startup loans, and improvement loans for locally owned, Hawaiian-owned businesses. And we also have a personal loan program funded at a lower level where individuals needing personal funding for career enhancement, education, home repairs, and some personal emergencies. The Office of Hawaiian Affairs Grants Program. People are required to put in an application at our deadline. We hold fast to the deadlines. It's the one point that really makes us like a state agency. We will not accept any applications past the deadline. They will not even be opened. We will just mail them back to you as the applicant. Once the application is received, we as staff go through each application item by item to make sure it's complete. An incomplete application is not eligible for funding consideration, and it will be mailed back to the applicant. Completeness includes using our forms, addressing all sections of the narrative of the application, as well as providing all backup documentation, such as proof of nonprofit status. Once OHA staff determines eligibility, your proposal is then forwarded on to our review committee. Review committee is made up of a combination of OHA staff representing our advocacy as well as our research divisions and community members. We look for community reviewers that have expertise in either the program service area of your project or maybe those familiar with the particular community or geographic area that you're going to be serving. Proposals are rated and graded, and those with the highest scores are then prepared for recommendation to our CEO or our Board of Trustees. Once they make approvals of our recommendations, then the grants are contracted. Funding is dispersed incrementally throughout the year of your project, an initial amount to get you started off, and then as quarterly reports come in, we put out the next disbursement of funding. The OHA grants application is very basic, probably covers similar points that other funders are looking for. When people are putting together an OHA application, the one thing I do remind them is keep in mind who your funder is. Always write the proposal to address the mission and the concerns of your funder. So in the case being the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, throughout the proposal you want us to realize that your project is focusing on the needs of the Hawaiian community and that you are helping us address our strategic priorities and results from our new strategic plan. 5 sections of the proposal. An introduction is basic organizational history and your experience with the proposed activities that you're asking OHA to fund. We're looking at what other projects have you conducted, what accomplishments do you have under your belt, what other funding have you received, so we can see that there are other funders who support your work, as well as we now know that you have the ability, you have the organizational capacity to manage a grant, both financially and in the reporting requirement. The Section 2 would be the problem or opportunity statement. In our case, what is that need in the Hawaiian community? What is the problem that your project is addressing? How do you know that there's a need for this in the Hawaiian community? You can present either statistical evidence showing the low graduation rate of Hawaiians from college, the high level of numbers of Hawaiians in the prison system. Statistics are very useful for health, education, and human service projects. Sometimes you know about the need anecdotally, that the community themselves have come to you as an organization and ask you to provide this service to them. In this section, we're also looking at how well does your organization know the community? Are you partnering with any other organizations, either for shared services or possibly they're referring clients from their participant base to you for additional services? In this particular section, you will also need to address specifically which one OHA strategic priority and which associated result is your project targeting. Project plan, just a detailed plan from beginning to end, A to Z. We want to see that you've thought out your goals, your objectives, your specific activities, and you have a related timeline. If I were to give you a check today, you'd be cashing it as soon as you could and starting your project tomorrow. For organizations, we leave this up to them as to how they want to present this. Some groups will write it out as a narrative. Others may do it in a calendar format, progression of activities. Some, even more formal, will do a Gantt chart or a logic model. That's left up to the organization. We just want to see that they have thought out all those different activities for them to be able to realize success. A well-thought-out project plan will lead into Section 4, evaluation. If you know what you want to accomplish, you should know how you're going to measure it. What do you hope to accomplish, and how will you know you got there? And specifically, because of our new strategic plan being more measurable driven or outcome driven, we would be looking at statistics and data. What were you able to accomplish? What did you measure? For budget and funding, OHA will fund almost any budget item other than out-of-state travel and the purchase of land in a building. We will cover staff that you have related to that specific project. If you don't have sufficient staff and you need to hire consultants or contractors to provide a unique service, that's allowable. We fund both supplies that will be used up during the life of the OHA grant, as well as equipment that may